All right, Herschel, let's get into it. What do you think of the fight last week?
Well, whenever you win, you got to enjoy it.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to do is come out and show that I was a better MMA fighter than I showed the very first fight. I think I did that. I did some good things. I made the fight end quickly, so people didn't see that much, but I think they saw that I have improved a great deal.
I did love your moment of rage. Not fun to get kicked, huh?
Well, you know what it was is I told Javier that I wanted to get kicked in a sense. I wanted him to wake up. My thing was I wanted to make sure the guy was ready to fight. One of the things that I said when I came into this game is that I will step into that cage and be ready to throw down. Well, when he stepped in, and one thing that they said that he wanted to do was go to the ground. And the first thing he did was he wanted to kick, and I thought it was great. That showed me that he wanted to fight, and I was excited about it.
Yeah, for people who didn't see it, Herschel kind of just stared at him and screamed, and you were fired up. Alistair, did you watch the fight? What did you think?
I didn't watch the fight live, but I saw it afterwards. And, of course, great performance for somebody doing their second MMA fight. Yeah.
Can you side with Herschel or understand, that moment when you get hit? I mean, you've been hit a lot over the years. You've got, over 50-plus fights in MMA and all your kickboxing fights as well. How do you kind of keep it together when a guy is beating on you and not lose it?
Well, then you see who has fighting spirit and who has not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's somebody who punches you, and you're going to be like, oh, damn it, I'm going to give you two back.
Right.
That's fighting spirit.
Yeah.
And that's what you saw in Herschel.
And I wouldn't, Herschel, I don't think I'd want to see Alistair yelling at me and fired up across the way.
Not at all, because, and I've been telling everyone, you got to take your hat off to Alistair. When you start talking about Herschel Overeem and you start talking about the K1, what he did in the K1 was absolutely incredible. And, this guy is a fighter. You're talking about me being a fighter. He's a fighter because he's busy. When you talk about busy, you're talking about heavyweight fighters that may fight 2 at the most, sometimes 3 fights a year. This guy doing 6 and 7 fights, and that showed that he's a true fighter.
Alistair, what's it like fighting a couple of times in one night?
Well, there's an experience. It's hard. After that, you're a little bit more bruised, you're a little bit more tired. It does drain your body. But, it's a rush. I like new stuff. I like new challenges. This definitely is a challenge. To fight K1 is the best 8 strikers in the world, fighting on elimination on one night. So being a champion, it does give you the champion feeling. You did achieve something that nobody or a few others have achieved in the world.
Alistair, what do you think of Herschel trying this at last year starting it or whatever, late 46-year-old, now he's 48-year-old? What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, all you can have for that is respect. Somebody accomplished like Herschel and then stepping into the unknown, doing something entirely new, who can actually only fail, who cannot, a lot of people want to see him fail. But then doing it right, winning his first fight and then stepping into the cage a second time, I think I can only have respect for that.
That's why I like it, because he's doing it right. And, I give you credit, Herschel. You're training, you're putting the dedication in, because we've seen older guys, maybe move over from boxing or move over from wherever, another sport, and try it. And, Alistair, you know what it's like. If a new guy comes into the gym, they'll do it for a little while, and then they kind of lose interest, especially if they don't achieve success.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Herschel, when you look at Overeem, if football was big in the Netherlands, could he have been a football player?
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt he can be a football player. I've been trying to talk him into now being a tight end. I said I can become his agent and we can make a lot of money, because I tell you what, his fighting spirit shows that he can get this job done. You have a tight end like that can move down the field, that can catch, and then with his strength, that can block and all that, and he got that long distance, he got that stamina. He's proven that in the K1. So it's going to be incredible.
Alistair, does football even have a place back home?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Holland is more soccer.
Yeah, I was going to say the real football. The real football.
Yeah, the real football.
Yeah.
But, if I would live in the States, if I would be raised there, I think I would be playing American football.
You probably would, yeah. Even when you were a little guy at 6'5" and cutting weight to get to 205, right?
Yeah.
So guys, what's been the reaction, especially Herschel, as you're walking around there because I cover MMA, and MMA is really big here in Vegas, so we kind of know what's going on with your exploits and your efforts. What's been the reaction from the regular radio guys, the regular sports radio guys, to you, Herschel Walker, trying MMA?
Oh, no, they accept that. I think that most other people know the type of athlete I am. They know what I do. Some of the people that are not familiar with me, they may can't understand it. But most of the guys that are familiar with me knows that I compete. That's my competition. And that's what I always tell people. I say, go talk to a coach or go talk to a player that's been with me. And he would tell you that if anyone was going to do this, it'll be Herschel Walker. And the reason why is when I put my mind to it, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to work at it. And that's why my hat is off to these guys, because you got to go into the sport with the right frame of mind. You said it earlier. For someone to think that they can walk off a basketball court or a football field or a baseball diamond or any other sports and think they can walk into an MMA and fight, they're absolutely crazy unless they go to a good camp. And they have to be there for a while. You just can't do it overnight.
Yep. And you have to experience the heartbreak as well. It might not be in an official fight, but, Johnny Morton had it in a real fight, and that was it for him. That's
exactly right. And Alistair said it earlier. When you get hit in the face, you tell whether you're going to be a fighter or you're not. Because you're either going to cower and turn, or you're going to come right back at him. And, there are some people that they used to say in football, you look like Superman at practice. Mm-hmm. But when you step on the field, you look like a Barbie doll. Not taking anything away from Barbie dolls, but sometimes when you're in the gym, you look like Superman. Then all of a sudden you step into that cage and get hit with those 4-ounce gloves, you become somebody different because you're trying to get away now.
So what do you think, Alistair? We just talked about getting hit and turning. What do you think is going to happen with Brock Lesnar?
Unknown. His last fight was not that good a display.
Yeah.
I think that was he turned, right?
Yeah, he turned and he turned and ran.
Yeah.
Well, people forget about Brock in the sense that they didn't give Kane as much credit.
Yep.
People are always talking about Brock's stamina, and Brock does have a lot of stamina. I got a lot of respect for him. But they forget Kane was a wrestler as well. So Kane was not going to just let Brock take him down and lay on top of him and beat him up.
Right.
When Brock took Kane down, Kane got up. And Brock tried to take him down again. Kane got up. Then all of a sudden when Kane took Brock down, it totally shocked him.
Yep.
But Kane is a fighter as well. So people forget about when you step into that cage, the other guys fighting as well. So I think they got to give Kane a little credit. And I think what Brock got to do now, he's on the show and he's going to be fighting Junior. I think he just got to prove that, hey, he's going to step in there and do it. And, I think Brock is going to do it. Brock is a great athlete. And, when Brock first came into the sport, I told everyone he would be heavyweight champion. And people didn't believe me. And I said, that guy is dedicated, and Brock is dedicated. And he's going to go and he's going to work, and we're going to see what he's going to do next.
Alistair, what can Brock Lesnar do to kind of deal with getting used to getting hit in the face? Does he need to go to more, Muay Thai training? What does he need to do?
Yeah, I think perhaps come over to Holland and do some more K1 training. What should he do? He should do some more sparring, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about his current training regime, and he's come this far with his current training regime. So, it's you're always as good as your last fight. But let's not forget he has been beating up top fighters. He was a UFC heavyweight champion.
Yep.
He is a strong guy. Dropping down to 265.
Yep.
So he got that far with his current training stuff. He just needs to upgrade it a little bit, I think.
Yep. Well, I mean,
we're going to see how he's dealt with his loss. In your loss, you see what your what flaws your game plan has. So we're going to see how he deals with that and how he's going to improve.
So Alistair Overeem and Herschel Walker hanging out with us down on Radio Row. So Alistair, tell us about this tournament and why did you agree to go into a tournament format?
Well, it's going to be Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix. 3 events, 8 contestants, 8 good fighters in the world. Well, you already know them. Fedor, myself, Verdum, Giant Silva, Brett Rogers, Andrei Arlovsky. Who else is in there?
Sergey Karatanov.
And Josh Burnett.
Yep.
It's going to be elimination. So if you lose, you're out. And it's going to be this year.
So as the champ, why did you agree to do it?
Well, why do I agree to do it?
Yeah.
First of all, I love a new challenge. Secondly, I've been challenging the winner of Verdum and Fedor. Well, Verdum was the winner, but he was injured, so he couldn't fight me. That's the whole reason how I participated in the K1 in the first place. And Fedor declined to fight me again. Now, everyone being in the tournament, there's not going to be any more decline. They will have to face me, and I believe this year the winner of the tournament will be the absolute number 1 worldwide.
So you looked at it as no risk, and you get to lock those guys into fights with you potentially.
Yeah.
Now, is that not the sign of a true champion?
Yeah.
That when he's got the belt, he's challenging other people. Most of the time when you have the belt, people are coming after you. But he's calling out other people, and I think that's a sign of a great champion.
Well, like you said, Fedor has been a tough guy to track down, so if you can lock him into a future fight, you got to do it.
Well, that's what the whole tournament is designed for. I mean, everybody knows these are the brackets, these are the contestants. You win your fight, then the second leg you're going to face this guy, and that's going to show who's the true number one.
Alistair, do you think I was looking at some odds for the Fedor fight against Giant Silva? He's a 5-1 favorite. Do you think that's a little silly? Pretty big.
Well, I do see him as the favorite.
Okay.
He does have more experience. He's coming out of a loss against Fabricio Verdum, which, well, I'm sure Fabricio Verdum has trained really hard, so I'm not going to take anything away from him. But I do think he made a mistake. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but this was a mistake. And it's going to be curious to see how he's going to come back. I think he can make a big surprise. But Giant Silva is a very big, strong guy. I think he could make a surprise either.
Okay.
So it can go either way. But I would give it like 60-40 for Fedor.
And the tournament starts next weekend on Saturday. You got the first two matchups in the tournament. The card is highlighted by the Fedor Silva fight, and that'll be in New Jersey. That's 10 o'clock Eastern and Pacific on Showtime. Let's close on this. I wanted to mention the event this weekend, UFC 126, since we're here in Vegas. You fought Belfort once, didn't you?
Twice.
Isn't that crazy? He's fighting middleweight now, and you are cutting weight to 255 or 260.
Well, I fought him at light heavyweight, actually.
Yeah.
I fought him twice at light heavyweight, and very strong guy. I defeated him twice. First was on a submission, and the second time was on decision in Strikeforce. The first time was in Pride. And now he's going to go for the UFC title. I'm going to watch that fight. It's curious to see how he's going to develop.
He's not being given much of a chance by a lot of people against Silva. What do you think of that?
Well, Vitor is a certain fighter, but I do think that at the middleweight he is doing better things than at light heavyweight. Anderson Silva, well, he needs no more recognition.
Right.
It's going to be curious to see how they, because I think it's going to be hard to tell, because their fight styles is a little bit. They're both counter fighters, so they're not really that aggressive at first. So someone is going to have to come. I think Vitor is very dangerous in the beginning. Later on, he might get a little bit weaker, and Anderson is the man of the surprises.
Yep.
So it's hard to predict, but I'm going to be watching that fight.
What do you think, Herschel?
Well, I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Anderson is, I think his movement is going to end up winning that fight for him. The way he moves, and Vito, he punches hard. That's a problem. And the last fight that Anderson was in, he got hit a great deal. I don't think he want to get hit in this fight that much because if he get hit a lot here, he's going to be out of it. But I think I think it's 60-40. I would go with that because I think Anderson movement is going to win it for him.
All right, we got to close on some football real quick. Alistair, do you have any interest in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, who do you think is going to win?
Steelers.
Okay.
I'm rooting for the Steelers.
All right.
I'm rooting for the Steelers.
You're rooting for the Steelers. All right. Herschel?
I'm with Alistair. I think the Steelers are going to win it. I think the Steelers defense is going to really put the pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and I think the movement that Ben is doing right now is going to be the key to winning this game.
All right, guys. Hey, we appreciate it. Good luck in the tournament, Alistair and Herschel, if you're coming back for another fight, and I hope you do. I think you absolutely should. Good luck in that.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks a lot.